It is difficult for us to live a life without caring at all what other people think, which is why I chose this story of Mathilde Loisel, a housewife married to a clerk who has this dream of being seen as glory, as rich, but unfortunately is not that rich. To fulfill this dream, her husband brought her an invitation to a fancy ball. He bought her a new dress, and she borrowed a necklace from her friend, Madame Forestier, to go with it. However, what was about to happen at the ball was about to change her life forever. It was about to teach her the lesson that really not all glitter are gold, and that we really need to appreciate what we have right now, because our desires will maybe blind us. The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. The day of the ball arrived. Loisel made a great success. She was the prettier than them all, elegant, gracious, and smiling and crazy with joy. All the men looked at her, asked her name, endeavored to be introduced. She danced with intoxication, with passion, made drunk by pleasure, forgetting all in the triumph of her beauty and the glory of her success, in a sort of cloud of happiness composed of all this homage, of all this admiration, of all this glory of her success, and all this awakened desires of that sense of complete victory, which is so sweet to a woman's heart. She went away about 4 o'clock in the morning. Her husband had been sleeping since midnight in a little deserted anteroom with 3 other gentlemen whose wives were having a very good time. He threw over her shoulders the wraps which he had bought, modest wraps of common life whose poverty contrasted with the elegance of the ball dress. She felt this and wanted to escape so as to not be perceived by other women who were enveloping themselves in costly furs. Loisel held her back. "Wait a bit. You'll catch a cold outside. I will go call a cab." It took them to the door in the Rue des Martyrs, and once more, sadly, they climbed up homeward. She removed the wraps which covered her shoulders before the glass so as once more to see herself in all her glory. But suddenly, she uttered a cry. She had no longer the necklace around her neck. Her husband, half undressed, demanded, "What is the matter with you?" She turned madly towards him. I've lost Madame Forestier's necklace!" He stood up, distracted. "What? How? Impossible!" And they looked in the folds of her dress, in the folds of her cloak, in her pockets, everywhere. They did not find it. He asked, "You're sure you had it on you when you left the ball?" "Yes, I felt it in the vestibule of the palace." "It must be in the cab." They looked, thunderstruck, at one another. At last, Loisel put on his clothes. "I shall go back on foot," said he, "over the whole road which we have taken to see if I can find it." And out he went. He went to the police headquarters, to the newspaper offices to offer word. He went to the cab companies everywhere. In fact, whither he was urged by the least suspicion of hope. Loisel returned at night with a hollow, pale face. He had discovered nothing. "You must write to your friend," said he, "that you have broken the clasp of her necklace and that you are having it mended. That will give us time to turn around." She wrote at his dictation. And Loisel, who at age 5 years, finally declared after a week, "We must consider how to replace that ornament." They found in a shop at the Palais Royal a string of diamonds which seemed to them exactly like the one they looked for. It was worth 40,000 francs. They could have it for 36. So Loisel borrowed, asking 1,000 francs of one, 500 of another, compromised all the rest of his life, risking his signature without even knowing if he could meet it, and frightened by the pains yet to come, by the black misery which was about to fall upon him, by the prospect of all the physical privations, of all the moral tortures which he was to suffer, he went to get that new necklace, putting down upon the merchant's counter 36,000 francs. When Loisel took back the necklace, Madame Forestier said to her, with a chilly manner, "You should have returned it sooner. I might have needed it." She did not open the case, as her friend had so much feared. If she had detected the substitution, what would she have thought? What would she have said? Would she have not taken Loisel for a thief? Loisel looked old now. She had become the woman of impoverished households, strong and hard and rough, with frowsy hair, skirts askew, and red hands. But sometimes, when her husband was at the office, she sat down near the window and she thought of that gay evening long ago. What would happen if she had not lost that necklace? Who knows? Who knows? How life is strange and changeful. How little thing is needed for us to be lost or to be saved. But one Sunday, having gone to take a walk in the Champs-Élysées to refresh herself from the labors of the week, she suddenly perceived a woman. It was Madame Forestier, still young, still beautiful, still charming. Her friend uttered a cry. "Oh, my poor Mathilde! How you're changed!" "Yes, I have had days hard enough since I have seen you, days wretched enough, and that's because of you. Of me. How so?" "Do you remember that diamond necklace which you lent me to wear at the ministerial ball?" "Yes, well, I lost it." "What do you mean? You brought it back." "I brought you back another just like it. And for this, we have been 10 years paying. You understand that it was not easy for us who had nothing. At last it is ended, and I am very glad." And she smiled with a joy which was so proud and naive at once. Madame Forestier, strongly moved, took her two hands. "Oh, my poor Mathilde! Why, my necklace was a paste. It was worth at most 500 francs. "Thank you,"